Alrighty, this is gonna be fun. So today is mostly gonna be about figuring out what to do with the spreadsheet, because we added in now a couple of upgrades, which means that like this spreadsheet is now outdated, and what we actually need is a bunch of new upgrades. We'll need the, you know, extra life number 1. Extra life number 2. We gotta have lucky coin 1. All the way to 5 with this one. So, like, I did create this economy spreadsheet using the most simplest of the simplest formulas, which is the linear equation formula. And the way we've basically worked at this is it's pretty similar to so I'm kind of using Jamie Stevenson. You can find him at jamiestevenson.com. Jamie Stevenson's method of creating it and then kind of butchering it in my own way because I didn't read it thoroughly enough. But what I have it is what I call the difficulty level, which right now is set from 1 to 10. I don't need a reminder that I'm streaming right now. And we also have this how is this mini game going to be filled? How is this power up going to be filled and that kind of stuff? And there's a couple of different choices here. Number of plays an average player will take to have enough money to buy the game. And then the rest of it is actually all generated information here. So what would make sense for me then is to kind of copy basically every cell from here all the way to here in classic spreadsheet fashion. Okay. And basically just kind of copy and paste it over here. Now, there are a couple of formula-related changes I'm going to have to make because we have the lucky coin thing that has a certain probability of it appearing and thus causes a lot of mayhem in my original calculation. So, woohoo! The other thing is that, like, right now we're doing the very American thing, which is pulling everything with when it comes to price here, there's a column called price somewhere in here. Yeah, we're subtracting by 0.01 cent, which, there's a bunch of errors for some reason. We're subtracting by 0.01 cent, which again is a very American thing to do. But ultimately though, I don't want just these 99s. I do want an entry that says 0.49. Like basically having a 50-cent tier at some point as well. So I'm gonna probably add an option to do that at some point. Not too concerned about it right now. If you're interested why we have negative prices mean that these mini games are available by default. I think one of these is outdated. Angry Birds we did have, Bun Ninjas correct, Canabot, Serial Joyride, no, it looks like it's updated. Flappy Sombrero, Flashlight, Flower Clicker, these are, you can tell that these are the mini games that are in the demo. Math Time, Pushing, Ridiculous, Pinatas, Unlock, right. And then we want to make sure that this, so Turbo Hexagon is called Score, both Extra Life 1, we want to make it really hard to get. They're really easy to get. Extra Life 2, we want to make it really hard to get. What should this be filtered by? I would say that this shall be filtered by both. Number of unlocks, yep. And the rest of these. Oh no, this is none, excuse me. this is both. The number of times for extra life is literally just 1. And I'm going to say for extra life number 2, you need to play up at least 10 times. This one, so for the rest of it, this one, I'm going to also leave that as none. And then make the rest both. And increment the difficulty. As such, there's 5 of them, so here's 10. The middle one's going to be 5. The next one is going to, I'm going to bring it up to 3, and this one's going to be 8. Cool. I'm not a fan of the score threshold being like this, but I'll worry about that later. The other thing is that the price formula needs a lot of modification. Okay, it's flooring that value. That's not what I want. Flooring. Would rounding be a better way? I'll worry about that later for now. So already we're getting a bunch of prices here. You know, Don't Blink has this absurd value of 13. But how many times? I set it to 30, but in actuality its difficulty is about 1. Okay, so that probably means I need to dock out the extra life difficulty by somewhere around 6-ish. I also would like to have that instead of be none by the based off of number of unlockables. And make the last two of these lucky coins also based off of unlockables as well. I wonder why these are set to 10, because we don't really need those criterias anymore. Curious why that didn't show up earlier. Alright, that's strange. Don't know why that happened. I think this is appear by default anyways though, so it doesn't kind of matter. Alright, so some explanation and as to what the heck is going on. So these 3 what are called 3 green columns, excuse me, are any columns that we actually make any changes to. Again, difficulty, number, things to be filtered by, and the number of plays required to at least be able to get this. The lucky coin is probably somewhere, like, I want to bring that closer to 3-ish. But the rest of it, you know, I'll definitely go start incrementing in regular fashion. So this one is more like 9. This one is more like 12, and this one shall be 15-ish. And then I'm using these values to determine what these blue values should be. Oh wow, those are getting expensive real quick. So as an example, like the score threshold is based off of a column I2 and I2 stuff. There's a column for K2, and there's a column that there's this weird formula I wrote for myself apparently for the G column here. But what's also important is all these modification values, such as the allow score threshold, the score threshold fraction, allow number of unlocks threshold, number of unlocks threshold fraction, and all these sort of things that I honestly kind of forgot what it stands for nowadays. Number of time this game appeared. Oh, okay, so this is just a quick check to make sure that I'm not being an idiot. Wow, I really don't remember this. But yeah, here's the linear equation, which this linear equation can be found right here. It's an amazingly simple formula. All I do is grab whatever the value is, K29 right here. The slope is set inside the modifier spreadsheet, which is right here. And then the offset, of course. Final results offset. So what should be worth noting is that because we now have what's called the lucky coins, the prices basically are all gonna have to change. You have these items that has a really ridiculously, really high criteria on unlocking them. Generally speaking, if that happens, the prices lowers a little bit. That's the way I kind of calculate it. But anyways, there's a whole bunch of prices written down specifically from the last couple of yellow columns earlier. And so what I need to do then is to kind of update those columns in a way. Here we go. So probably the one column that I really want to change here. So these are the score threshold, which I'm not too concerned with. Right now they're down to 40. I made a max of 45 for relevant reason, but I don't agree with that. So where's the score? Average score based on difficulty. Maximum. I don't agree with 40. I'm gonna bump that up to like 75, honestly. Maybe dock it down to 60-ish. Price based on unlock threshold. There's a couple of $25 here. Maximum total price. Okay. I don't recall. Score threshold based on difficulty. I would say this is also up to 60. Unlock threshold based on difficulty. So because of the new upgrades, we are now up to, I believe, 35. No, I think we're up to 40. Yeah, we're up to 40 upgrades. So 40 different unlockables, excuse me. So that means that 40 minus the initial 15 that you get, minus also the extra life that you automatically get. So I would say that would be 40 minus 15 for 325. So the maximum would be somewhere around. I made a quick formula here. So I don't have to actually calculate it myself. Fascinating. Yeah, 20. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. I want to bring that down a notch, honestly. So I'll bring it up a notch, excuse me. So that'll lead to 22-ish. There's a couple of offsets here. Final results. I'm going to want to actually duplicate this a bit. Where is it? Insert below. Average score based on difficulty. I think this is going to be consistent, so that's going to be fine. Average lucky coin. So we want to calculate also how much on average we're going to get from the lucky coin. So the lucky coin is largely based off of the score, at least the way I'm thinking of it, so that the higher the score, the more likely you're going to get more lucky coin from. And then the probability of the lucky coin starts off at a base of 0.2 and starts progressively increasing, I believe, towards 0.3 if memory serves correct. We can try checking this real quick. Yeah, it starts at 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So it ends at 0.4, in other words. That does actually make things a little easy to calculate. So I'm not exactly a fan of this column name. In fact, I'm just gonna keep Control-Zing for a while. Anyways. So based on easy, lucky coin 1 is probability is 0.2. And its value is, those are in cents, by the way, equals to 0.1 plus 0.5 divided by 2. So this is kind of poorly written right now. Probability of appearance, probability, or average price. So gonna copy those over. I believe the next couple, yep, are 0.3, 0.3, also 0.3. This one is going to be the same, and then 25 out of 75. And then we have 0.4 with 25 out of 75 here. And this one is 1 to 50. Cool. So what we then need is sort of mapping from the score to the lucky, or the difficulty to the lucky coin, and then from there, the how much based on the price or based on the score, how much money you're getting as a consequence from that. So, gonna kind of dock this down even further a bit. So let's see. Right. Lucky coin tier based on difficulty. The minimum is 0. The maximum, of course, is 5. The slope, gonna set the offsets to 0 right now. The slope is, this is a good question. So it's out of 10. There are 6 different tiers. Out of 10, so 6 divided by 10, I guess. Oops. Does it not do what I think it did? I thought you were supposed to show just numbers. Why is this now converted from 12 to 30? I wanted a fraction number. There we go. Slope of 0.6, is that correct? I think that is. Yeah, let's start with that for now. We can, out of my own sanity, make all that the same. Okay, so then the way we'll need to create a new column. I really don't see any need in that for a while. Sure. Price based on lucky coin tier. So how about lucky coin tier based on difficulty is probably going to be a better idea of naming this. Clamp, bunch of modifiers. I'm going to need that. Gonna borrow you. K2, I like to think is difficulty, but no, it's based off of unlock threshold. What I probably want then is B2. Yep. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so instead of clamping, we want to actually kind of floor this value too. Well, I guess what I can do is I can clamp, then floor, then clamp. So there we go. I'll probably take out the floor for now, honestly, because I like to see what those values actually do correspond to. So these values are 100% wrong. They're using D and 4, so let's look for that. Oops. Here it is. So what we're looking for is anything 9. So D and 4 goes here, but what we want is 9. So we just replace all these numbers that says 4 with 9. There. And then this is now at 1.2 because it's using a difficulty of 2. Kind of keep copy and pasting this for a while. I can tell that this is not exactly the numbers I want. Yeah, not exactly the numbers I want. We have the 5 here. All right, so I want a slight offset. I can see that. So the linear equation, all that. Okay, so it's now taking the offset into account. I'm seeing some 3s, some 1s. The 4s, I'm not seeing very many 4s actually. I can probably adjust this as necessary anyways. So I'm gonna stick with this formula then for now. I'm probably gonna want to readjust the offset one more time. Cool. Okay, so far all that. Yeah, I'm gonna want to just slightly adjust the offset a bit. Okay, there's now propping up a few more 1s, which I think is gonna be fine for now. The lack of 4s is kind of distracting, but oh well. So because of that, we needed to somehow let it know that, let it know to use these tiered information. Huh. Well, that's gonna be funky, all I have to say in that regards. So I'm gonna actually create a quick function for that. Just kind of thinking it through. What would be the best way to handle this? Okay, I think I have an idea. Function. Get. Get lucky coin extra formula, which I'll need first the score, the tier, all probabilities, and all averages. And this is actually going to be really simple. Yeah. Return price equals 0 if tier is greater than 0. Oops, gotta get my brackets correct. Tier minus equals 1. The way I think it'll work is return price equals score times all probabilities tier, also times all averages tier. Return price. Let's see if this, let's save that. Let's see if this compiles. Okay. Presumably it did. So, this is from 11 to 15, so B 11 to 15 is probably the calculation I'm looking for here. I just kind of realized I'm going to have one heck of a time trying to modify this as necessary. So I'm probably going to be better off moving this somewhere else. Yeah, I think so. Something like that. At least that way I doubt I'm going to be worried about constantly recalculating by accident. And then for my own sanity's sake, get the colors all the same again. What color is this? Okay. Cool. So that's I2 to I6 is what we're looking for. Lucky coin extra by score. So then this will use the formula that I made earlier. Get lucky coin extra. The score will of course be based off of where did somewhere in here I average score how well the player plays. That the tier of course is the one column that we just created earlier. Lucky coin tier. All probability, this is gonna be fun. All probabilities are this to that. I believe if you pull in dollar signs, they stop modifying things when you're copy and pasting, which is really, really useful. And I think that will do. Error. All probabilities is not defined. What? Yeah, I put the dollar signs in those, so that makes sense. Huh. Why would this be 6? Okay, interesting. These prices get ginormous somewhere in here. The lucky coin here. So these tiers are kind of out of whack, in other words. 8, 1, 3, 5, what's 7? Maybe this should be 9-ish. See if that does any better. The reason why is because I want to make sure the lucky coin tier is properly allocated. B40. No, that's using the correct column. Not what I expected. Six, 7. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so far that's looking a lot better. A lot of these lucky coin extras numbers are going all over the place. I'm slightly uncomfortable with those numbers, to be honest. Why would you get those large numbers from the first place? There's so many decimal points. I'm gonna play around with that for a little bit. Alright, so it assumes in this case that the lucky coin appears at least 3 times, about 3 times throughout the entire gameplay, because they scored, in this case L2, 16, which in my playthrough is actually extremely lucky and not at all what's going to happen. Because the probability of that is 0.2 times 16, or basically 1/5. So it's supposed to appear about twice at. Interesting. So we might have to actually dock these number by at least 1 for the probability. Like, it's right now saying that. So see if that makes any changes. Alright, so now those are down to 2.2, which is kind of high, but okay. So how would that work proportionally then based off of tiers? Maybe I should make it so that it's kind of like, there we go. See what kind of prices we get this time around. Now that we're removing like a couple of tiers there. Oh, bunch of errors. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why? Okay. That happened. Duplicate. I hate to say it, Google Sheets has not been consistent in performance. Okay, yeah, those numbers look a lot better. Yep, those numbers, with an exception of these ridiculous ones. So we basically need to clamp this at some point. Look a lot better. So actually clamping should be fairly simple to do. But before I get there, I can probably get rid of these because they're making it hard for me to work. Min, max. Well, we don't need a min because a minimum is essentially always 0. But the max we do need. I'd say 1.2 here. It said like 15 around here. I'm gonna jot that down to like 12. And then everything else is just basically whatever comes in between. So 1 between 12. Oh. There we go. So, yeah, let's bump that up to 1.5, I guess. And what happens if I bump this up to 15? All right, those numbers are absolutely crazy. I don't think that's plausible. Yeah, let's go with those numbers for now. And then from there, we'll drop in the I'm just going to make a quick new formula, which is kind of a little stupid. No. return, so I'm just clamping, making sure that the price does not exceed all max. I feel that's kind of like a really stupid method of doing that, actually. There's already a clamp function I already created there, so I should just say clamp this 0 all maxed here. There. Achieves the same thing. Now we just need to copy this. That's fine. So these are J and L is probably what we want. And apparently I'm wrong in some way or fashion. That is because I forgot the K. Oh. I apparently don't remember my alphabet. Embarrassing. There we go. Those prices look a little more reasonable. 7.2. Yeah. Alright, so I would probably need to readjust these maximums anyways. I feel like 12 is plausible. Still, that does get us to the final part, which is the price here. The price grabs a maximum of N2 and O2, and then floors it by that, and oh my god, what is this? The maximum of N2 and O2 subtracts M by those numbers. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this function. Why did I do this? Yeah. I'm just going to write a quick function to this. Get final price. I'm kind of fine with that if statement. I feel like that doesn't need to be changed, but the rest of these stuff does. Price on play, price on score, unlock, price on unlocks, what is this? Price offset price max. So in this case, first off, what we're trying to grab is the return price of 0. if, well, we'll set that to price on play. Incidentally, I also forgot the price on Lucky Coin. If price on play plus price on Lucky Coin. So that's fine, that's easy to read. And from Lucky Coin, accumulate the price from play and from Lucky Coin. Let's say return price minus equals max of price on price based on unlock. So whichever happens to take the most. And then finally the price offset. All right, so from here we get like a fractional value. So I'm just gonna say return price for now. But I'm gonna need all those values obviously very soon. This price max here is probably easy enough to put together. Return price is greater than price max. Whoops. Return price equals price max. Oops. Clamp. The price. So anyways, now that we're staring at this column, the best way to add this is the price on play, the M column. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Here it is. This here is gonna be R2. The price based on score, threshold is N2 after all. The price based on unlock is O2. And the last view here, I'm gonna just copy and paste this over here, and this over here, and not have that happen at all. Okay, that should be a lot easier for me to read. Yep, a lot easier to read. That's C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. I'm getting a bunch of errors, which is really disturbing. Why am I getting errors? Max is not defined. Sounds like a fixable problem. Line 42. Okay. If that is greater than this is me just sanitizing my input because I'm a little paranoid like that. If price on score is greater than price on num unlocks. Price on score. Else price on num unlocks. Sure. Price by the largest amount from threshold. Wow, these score thresholds are kind of low. Alright, cool. So these are the numbers I'm getting, 1376. And earlier I mentioned that I wanted a 49-cent tier, so I'm still thinking that that's necessary. Result was not a number. How is that possible? Because the numbers are in fact all wrong. Heck, even this is wrong. C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. Okay, so these prices are actually ridiculously a lot higher than I expected. That's probably because of the score threshold that I put in, which I'll need to adjust that anyways. Is this also set to 40 or is it 41? No, it's 41. Okay, cool. Let's make sure that I did this consistently. Yeah, I did. Okay. So, without further ado, we now added a formula where it checks to see which tier of Lucky Coin you have unlocked. It adjusts the price based off of that number, and now we need to add in a 49-cent tier. And I'm going to actually just kind of floor this. So my line of thinking is to actually double this number, floor it, and then have it again. So let's see if that works. double, allow the 50 cent 0.5 tier to exist. Floor to the closest 0.5. So again, the way you do this is return price, double the return price, excuse me, floor this. I don't know if flooring exists here, and then have the number. I am pretty darn sure flooring doesn't exist here. Reference. Floor is not defined. Okay. That's not fun. Do you have round at the very least? Nope, not even that. Oh, math.ceil. Okay. That actually makes sense. So then potentially I could have just said return this. All right, that seems to have solved a lot of problems. I didn't add, I just replaced that. Gee. This did just fine. Huh. Seems to be stuck in its old days. All right, but yeah, other than that, the last thing that we need to do is make sure that offset the price. So we give it that authentic American price of 0.99, $3.99. How is the result supposed to not be a number here? I don't understand. $13.99. So ultimately, like this life coin right here, oh, okay, well, that happened. See if duplicating does any better. It's disappointing I have to do this every time with Google Docs. Excuse me. Really? wonder why that happens. F2, right? Price offset. F2, that's correct. Strange. Color me surprised. Try getting rid of this first. I'm curious as to why these numbers are just fine. That to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm wondering if I should switch the maximum score back to like 40 again. Average score. Bring it down a notch. Oh wow. Try utility sleep. Who does utilities.sleep 1000 between calls? Seriously. Weird. This is the most exciting thing ever. Watching me complain about Google Docs. So eventually, the idea is to export this spreadsheet so that we can actually copy over the prices. I should probably mention that the maximum on the prices are a little too high. I have been requested to decrease that to like probably somewhere around $15 tier, so that's what I'm going to aim for. Like this Flappy comic, like the slope I think is a little too much for this, honestly. So this looks like it worked actually just fine. Wow, I really don't understand what's going on with this. Is this still, yep, this is still bunk. Strange. All right, well. Delete that for now. Yes, this has literally been the only solution I've been able to find around this problem. So I'm fine by this number. Price based on plays, it's based off of the slope of 0.15. this is actually correct. I'm gonna bump this up to 6, but instead of making this a slope of 6, let's try seeing what happens if I switch it to just 5. I should also adjust the price of the maximum total price being $4.99 here. Oh, I see. That's how I did it. Maximum. We should probably dock that down to like 15 or 20. Yeah, that actually looks about right to me. Alright, so what do these prices look like? Don't Blink is still ridiculously expensive. That's good. Yeah, a couple of these are what I'd call way too expensive. Bring that down to 15. And also bring this down to 4-ish. I don't think it rises up smoothly enough. I also think that this tier system I have here is not working properly. If K36, why is this based off of K36? Oh, no, that's fine. Alright, so these numbers, I think, needs to change. Yeah, so this one, I'm just going to say equals this plus this divided by 2. This is, oh gosh. This one is also equals parentheses this plus this divided by 4. And this is this plus this times 3 divided by 4. So 2/4, 1/4, 3/4. Sure. And it's one. Probably just gonna want number of plays at least once. And then 15, I'd say there's just 10 is good enough. So that should adjust the price accordingly. Okay, yeah, that did. Here's the 49 tier that I was looking for. This coin being that much is a little disturbing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that price. Alright, that looks a little better except for these last ones. So I think I am going to make this independent after all. 3, I'm going to bring this down to 5. 5, and then this one specifically 10. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Extra life here. The number of plays actually is closer to. It's interesting that that has a price at all. Why would that have a price? Maybe stick with both and see what happens. Yeah, no. I'm gonna be a little wacky and gonna call this one default. There's a good reason. Alternatively, I can call this one tutorial. A new tier appears. Yeah. Filter. I'm gonna say if filter double equals default set the return price to 0. If it's set to default -1, else if filter double equals tutorial set it to that, else this whole shebang. It's interesting I have 19 tiers for whatever reason. I guess I must have set it to, so here, instead of this, what I want to do is drop that in, and then I say C2 equals copy those 5 over. Oh, those are a little late on updating. That's what happened. Okay. The extra life here taking up a lot is not something I'm a fan of. I'd also say 6 there. Alright, yeah, that makes a little more sense to me. Okay. Power Hexagon costing that much, it is a hard game, so that to me makes sense. I'm not sure these should be tiered this way, though. $14.99. Well, I can always goof up this game. 50. Saying that it's a curveball game anyways. Okay, I'm pretty happy with these for now. Flappy Sombrero. Oh. Flappy Comic isn't that hard. Gonna pull out a 9 tier. And Turbo Hexagon, Power Hexagon isn't that hard either. Wow, these numbers aren't really all that well adjusted. Okay, so the unlock threshold, average score. Okay, these are relatively good assumptions, I'd say. They don't reach all the way up to 50, which is interesting. Yeah. I guess I'm going to be fine with that for now. There's an offset of -3, which I don't agree with. Because there's always guaranteed to be at least one unlocked by the time the tutorial's over. So in fact, everything under modified should already have a +1 attached to it. Okay, power of hexagon is ridiculously high. So that's probably why I pull in a -3 in there. That's compromised by -2.5. I think I'm also going to drop the max tier to just 20. Yeah, okay, that looks a little better to me. Yeah, I think this is going to look good to me. Okay. So yeah, my method is just use a spreadsheet, Google Docs spreadsheet. It's taking a while. Curious about what's going on with that. Wow. Really? This is really annoying. Whoa. What's all these? Alright. Okay, this finally worked. I don't know why it took so long, but whatever. Delete that since it's taking forever. Rename this to results. And a bunch of modifiers indicating. Alright, so this results sheet F1, which is the name of this. Pretty sure what I want here is the A. There we go. Four, five, six. Three, four, five, six. Yeah, okay. So A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should also go up all the way to 41, that is. Yep, it did. Okay, so cool. This takes care of that. Here are our new prices. Again, -1 stands for, it's going to appear by default. You don't need to do anything. It's part of the initial 15 games, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's that. There's a couple of score-related thresholds that you need to surpass. Okay. And yeah, that's curious that Lucky Coin 4 and 5 doesn't have a score threshold. Is there a reason why it did that? Oh yeah, I recall now. Let's see if that does anything. 25 and 30. I'm actually content with that. I'm fine with that. It's kind of curious why this is so low, but oh well. Either way, I'd say this looks like a good start. So yeah, we will export this specific sheet. Download as, I believe I set it to a CSV on purpose. There it is. We'll find out. Where's the economist sheet here? Yep, the balance sheet is an open ODS file. No, a CSV file, excuse me. So, yeah. Show that in folder. Copy that name. Paste here. Yep. Oh. Open the LibreOffice. And while it's doing that, we go through each and every one of these individually and update the price. Oh my goodness. So actually, I'm just going to go and edit these prefabs directly. Yeah, that sounds good. Put that on that edge, put that here. All right, lots of these columns are far too wide. Let's decrease that to like 1. Decrease this to 1. Decrease this to also 1. Guess they could be shrunk a little more. Sure. All right. Lots of stuff. All right, so we're going to be going through this incrementally anyways, or alphabetically anyways. So to talk about this, we don't need any of these information. We do need this one. The price is -1, and we also need to worry about making sure that the score threshold is set here somewhere. Oh, the score threshold is set into the minigame settings. I think I recall now, and because we don't, both of those are 0. We don't need to match any of those criteria, so we're all good. Angry monkeys. The price, make sure that's -1. It is, and then these filters we need none because those are both 0s. Excuse me. Angry thieves. We're changing the price of Angry Thieves to $2.49. Bomb Ninja is now $4.49. And has a score threshold. Required a best local score of greater than 15. I'm surprised that's actually an optional. There's really no reason for it to be there. Best local score greater than 15, yeah. So leave that as it is. Bun Ninja is also at -1 price and then has no criteria to speak of. Canabiker is $2.99, and has no criterias. Canabot, -1, and usually -1s doesn't have any criteria attached to them. Serial Joyride, curious why it's not scrolling down. Okay. Serial Joyride, the price is -1, and that usually follows with no specific criteria. Price for colors is $6.49 and has a criteria of the number of unlocks to be at 9. It only has one requirement, interestingly. Number of bot unlockables is greater than or equal to 6. I'm going to remove that. Don't Blink is now $14.99. And then with 2 optional criterias of either scoring up to 5 or Number of bot unlockables is set to 2. The best local high score is over 5. It's actually really easy to get 5, so that means that it's really easy to unlock Don't Blink. It's just really expensive at the same time. Flappy Comic is $10.99 now. Interesting that the prices deduction for the unlocking is not as influential, which is kind of curious. I guess I'll worry about that later. Yeah, because some of these has really high criteria. Yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable with that, actually. I'm gonna go back, because that sounds to me like that needs adjustments. So price based on score. Yep, that's the reason, because they're at 25. So gonna adjust that to 30 and even make the slope a little more greater to 0.3. See if that makes some drastic changes. Yeah, Flappy Comic is now a lot cheaper. Power Hexagon is not noticeably cheaper. I prefer these values more. Yeah, I prefer these values more. Let's go with this. Right. So, as crazy as it sounds, I'm actually really just winging it when it comes to economy balance sheet. This is like the first time I've ever done it in a project at all, like, because, oh, that's because this is open. I can just close this. No, don't save. Continue. Wait. What? There we go. Open that again. So let's do that one more time. Column width, 0.5. This one, also 0.5. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that again. If it says -1, I'm just going to skip it. -1. I mean, the price being -1, that is. Angry Thieves is still $249 with no criteria whatsoever. Bomb Ninja is now $299. That looks a lot better in price to me. Has 15 in there. Bun Ninja is at -1, which we usually just skip. Canabiker is at 299, has no criteria whatsoever. Canabot is -1, we're going to skip. Serial Joyride, also -1 price, we're going to skip that. Colors, 549. So right now that was a 6 to 649. We're decreasing it to another 549. That's kind of expensive actually for that game, but oh well. The number of unlockable requirements is actually a lot higher in comparison, so yay. There's Don't Blink, which is still $14.99. Don't care too much about that, but still has a criteria of 5 and 2. The Flappy Comic is $6.99 now, which is much closer to what I want. And then have it at 40 and 21. So 40 is the score, and 21 is the number of unlocks. Because the max is 20 and you're guaranteed to get one unlocked, so that's why. Flappy Sombrero is -1, don't care. Flashlight, -1, don't care. Flower Clicker, -1, don't care. Into the Cup, -1, don't care. Jet Boots Joyride is $2.99 and has no criteria, so this is left essentially unchanged. Where was I? Jet Boots Light Tiles, -1, don't care, make me happy. Math Time, all -1s. Price, in price that is, Neon's $149. So Neon's is fairly cheap. And all that set to 0, that's cool. Paper Tiles, $2.99. Sounds like a good place to start, but has a criteria also of requiring you to buy up to 9 unlockables. Phone Clicker is $0.99. Has no criteria whatsoever, remains unchanged in that sense. Power Hexagon is $10.99. This actually makes sense to me because it's one of the hardest ones to figure out how to actually play. Number of bot unlockables is set to 21. Pushing Button is -1. Ridiculous Pinata is -1. Ridiculous Rockets is $1.99. I'm actually okay with this. That's a dramatic price drop, but whatever. And the score you have to get is now up to 20. Best local score equals to 20. These local scores are a lot higher now. Well, no, except Don't Blink, which is still the same. Bomb Ninja is at 15. It's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be fine for now. Most people were able to get up to 10 pretty easily. So, these criteria seems right to me. Timber Knight is $3.99. Did I actually update this to $1.99 by the way? Yes, I did. And 20. Okay, Timber Knight is up to $3.99. And then its criteria of requiring up to 12 unlockables. Don't need this. Timber Ninja is at $4.49 and has a metric ton of requirements. But its score now has only to be 25. Yeah, that one has a lot of requirements to it. Touch Glowy is Touch Glowy is now $3.99. Requires that you have 2 things unlocked. We don't need this. Touch Paper is free. We got 1 free one in there. Touch Paper is free. Has a requirement of either scoring up to 20 or have up to 9 unlockables. Turbo Hexagon is now dirt cheap at 0.99, but requires you to score up to 40, which actually is a lower criteria than before. Unlock is free, and VII is $4.49, which actually should be cheaper. No, it's more expensive actually. Has no criterias. So that should take care of it for all the mini games. And then the last thing we should do is to handle all the upgrades. So these are the extra upgrades. The shop ones I'm going to completely ignore. This one is all zeros. That's about right. The second life is $8.49. So you need to really work at it to get this, and requires you to have bought at least a couple of things. So this would actually add to the requirements here. Let's say number of bought unlockables is greater than or equal to 12. Okay, give me a minute. Lucky Coin, number 1, it has is the first 49 cents tier, has no other criterias. Yeah, no other criterias. Lucky Coin 2 is free, but is requiring at least that you score 10 or have bought 3 things. This is, I kind of like the 4 actually. I'm gonna leave it that there for now. Because 3 means you bought the lucky coin and you bought the extra life, so that means you only bought 1 more thing, but I'll update that as necessary. This one is 1.99. It has a higher requirement of making sure that you scored up to 20 and that you bought at least 9 unlockables. Lucky coin number 4 is not that much more expensive at $2.99. 12 and 25. So it does have a relatively higher. Whereas the last one has a $12.49 price. So it's a huge jump and has the same criteria as before. So save that. That should basically now adjust all the prices for pretty much all the things. Rebalancing the prices for all unlockables based off of the lucky coin inclusion. Cool. So yeah, let's try these new prices and see what happens. Oh, we're actually starting right from the beginning. Oh no, never mind. Oh, there's another lucky coin. I'll take it. I'll take that. Yeah. I'm not a very good playtester here because I know the games like thoroughly. Sure. Oh. Oh. There was a lot of frame skips. I did get the money. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I deserve that one. I'm gonna start losing for a while because it's already a 7. Oh wow, you're appearing really often. Yeah, 4. Oh, it's minus. Whoa. And I can buy stuff like Touch Glowy and Touch Paper. Actually, what? No. How'd that happen? How'd that happen? Well, looks like I have another bug to fix. It's already 5 o'clock, so that kind of gives a good overview of how we do balancing in our game. We basically use Google Docs. Oh my goodness. Wow, that happened. We basically use Google Docs to calculate all the information, and then we're using like a simple linear equation, you know, the classic M as slope and B as offset kind of information. So, and then from there, calculate all the prices and whatnot. But yeah, this has been basically our method of doing this. Fairly simple. So we're going to be sending these pretty much to the blade testers and figuring out what they think about these new prices very soon. When I say beta testers, of course, I'm talking about the private internal beta testers that we've recently said we'll be sending our builds to. So anyways, hopefully these will be an improvement. They certainly now take into account the fact that you get lucky coins. So yeah, hopefully this will be an improvement for the people who are helping us out. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time, next week. Hopefully we'll have some material to talk about. We're